You're listening to littlepodcast.com.
Why you gotta take it there?
Retake. This isn't better.
We're not talking about any integrity in
We
this
are
room.
trying to exploit a generation.
Ever tell you about that time when I paid for Chinese food with the DVD? The grease is the gravy.
You guys played footsie under the table.
Yes, but that's irrelevant.
I can smell Pepto-Bismol from here. It tastes like an antacid tablet. Why are there so many Draculas everywhere? No. There's vampires vodka everywhere.
There's no place like home. With your family around you, you're never alone. When you know that you're loved, you don't need to roam, 'cause there's no place like home.
That's right. No place like home. You're listening to Born in the 80s, episode 227. I'm your host, John Rowe, joined by my co-hosts.
Matt Hag.
Yeah, Matt. You turned it down so you
Trying to
could...
multitask.
Yep. We got the audio back, though.
Yeah, it's back. You guys sound crackly to me, but the audience can't hear that, so that's good.
Yeah, Matt has the
Also,
setup.
somebody else is here.
Oh,
Who's here?
that'd be me.
Thank you.
All right.
This is episode
Woo.
227, and we have another co-host.
Am I?
That's right. TJ is kind of coming in and out.
Am I?
A little bit. We'll just blame that on the horrible internet of the South.
I'm not down there yet.
I don't know, you're in the South right now, though. You're south of us.
Fair enough. I'm going to be south in I'm going to the state number 50, as in.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is all going well.
Yes.
This is a good start. Matt left the call
Well,
and
we're
joined it
off,
again.
we're off to a great start here.
TJ was having issues. Maybe it's because we're all on studio quality that it's like fucking up.
Go back to voice.
Please go to voice, TJ, for the love of God, because I honestly don't know. Google Hangouts work pretty well, but Matt doesn't want to use them anymore.
Yeah, I'm on voice.
What?
So I don't
Matt
know what's
hates
going on.
Google. I never really had that many problems with it until you guys
So
joined.
right now,
What?
till all of the problems.
Yeah, exactly. Until every single problem happened. No, but we're all here. This is the 227. This is the episode. I'm Jack Hay of the podcast. I have to say. You guys don't know anything about the show 227?
Nah, not at all.
Very groovy.
I don't really know much either, other than I've seen a few episodes, and it was a spin-off of The Jeffersons. That was, I forget, Origins. The series was adapted from a play. Okay. About the lives of women in a predominantly black apartment in the 1950s Chicago. Although they changed it to Washington, D.C., Marla Gibbs, who was Florence Johnston, the sassy maid on The Jeffersons, of course. That's it. So they're like, hey, let's give this lady a show. So, yeah, that's it, really. It's just middle-class apartment building, African-American families. Jack Hay Harry, of course, is Sandra Clark, who was the sexy building friend who would always, like, drop the hot fucking one-liners so would get the rap air shots fired. You got the air horns, Matt? No. Exactly. That's what... She would drop the bombs. Anyway, but I've seen like 4 episodes of this show, so not really into it. But it is episode 227, and that only happens once in your podcast lifetime. Although, would you count episode 1227?
I would not.
How
You
far
only
off?
get one.
How far off is that? Anyone have a calculator?
How many is 1,000 weeks from now?
Some weeks, just say 50 weeks a year, 40 years? Ish?
Yeah, we're already 200 into this.
We're gonna have to go daily.
Okay, so that's 19 years for 1,000 more episodes.
We'll all be dead by then.
Uh-huh. That's right. All right, well, but then that's presuming we take no weeks off. 19? How old will I'll be 49. Feeling fine.
Yeah, I'll be just about to turn 49.
That's right. Okay, so... Oh,
Yeah, 51.
that's right. That's the 51 noise. That's the noise that plays when you turn 51 in your ears. When you wake up. It's like we're in a horrible movie. Okay, so let's
I think
start.
on my birthday, I'm just gonna stay at home, drink, and watch Logan's Run.
Oh, when you turn 30?
Yeah,
You're not
That's
even
coming
30
up in a couple
yet,
of weeks.
You fucking loser.
It's like, what's the date today? That's like just over 2 weeks from now.
It is August 8th today.
It's okay. I still have the maturity level of like a 14-year-old, so
You're almost
good.
halfway there.
It averages out.
Yeah. So let's talk about Matt.
Yeah.
What did you do? What was your week like?
I last night I started watching Stranger Things, and I was up until like 2 in the morning.
I've heard that's good.
It's really good.
What's
It's
the
like,
elevator pitch?
It's like everything that's awesome about Stephen King movies from the 80s had sex with everything that's awesome about Steven Spielberg movies from the 80s, and it had the most glorious child.
Okay. Does this star children?
Yeah, actually, but they're good. They're like, it's got a very Goonies kind of Stand By Me vibe.
Okay. Is there a chunk?
There's like a kid that looks like fat Corey Feldman,
Okay.
and I think he's the Chunk analog.
Oh no, I'm talking about Chunk from the Goonies. Oh, not
Yeah.
Chunk. I'm sorry. I'm talking about a different character from the Goonies. That would be the Chunk analog.
Yes.
Who's Chunk? What was the name of Chunk's friend in Goonies?
Which one? The one that was actually Corey
No,
Feldman?
No, I thought the chubby one was Chunk.
No, the chubby one is Chunk. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I don't
Data?
remember any.
there was
Yeah.
Data.
I don't know any of their names.
Mouth was Corey Feldman. No, I'm talking about
Okay, I
Sloth.
think there's the
Remember
Mouth.
Sloth?
With the weird
Sloth.
face?
What was up with Sloth? That movie's
Some
weird.
sort of birth defect, and they
Like
just kept him
more
in a
than
cage.
that. He was really messed up.
Like the guy from Mask? Not the Mask, but Mask.
Yeah, from Mask. Oh my God, so many famous people in this movie. Is Jerry. Is Jerry O'Connell
O'Connell?
not in this? Sean Astin's in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jerry O'Connell was in Stand By Me.
It's Stand By Me, yeah.
And Sliders, which is the greatest TV show ever.
Yeah. God damn, I'm just looking at like all these pictures from Goonies right now. This movie is so good. I watched it like 100
Yeah, it
times
is.
when I was a kid.
So you'll like Stranger Things.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
Martha
like-
Plimpton. Oh man.
There's a lot of like parallel threads going on. So like when it's following the kids, it's got kind of a Goonies vibe. When it's following the adults, it's more like Stephen King or like
Yeah.
who did The Thing? I don't remember.
John Carpenter.
Yeah, like sometimes it gets John Carpenter-y. Winona Ryder character is very much in the like Close Encounters of the Third Kind space.
Okay.
So it just kind of hits all the awesome beats. And I can't wait for this to be over so I can watch the rest of it.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm glad that you're happy to be here. I'll just pull the plug any second. You'll be done. Cool. All right. What about TJ? What have you been up to? Let's go on to TJ for now. What's TJ done?
I'm just getting ready for my trip, or I should say, I just arrived on my trip.
Ah, yes, that's right.
Welcome to the future.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm going to everyone's favorite last place state in everything, Mississippi.
Yes.
Or I will be there.
Why aren't they number one in obesity?
Well, yeah, that's just
Well, there
last
you
place
go.
in health.
Well, yeah. Okay, that's true. Fair enough.
You know, number 1 in idiocy is number 50 in education. It's
So
the
what
same
you?
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, number one in America means number 50 in human rights.
Exactly.
All right, sounds good. Oh, what brings you to Mississippi?
Oh, paid vacation.
Oh, nice.
Well, I'm just taking time off, and we're going to go visit. My family's still down there, or at least, you know, my mom's part of the family still down there. So
Cool.
we're going to be down there, and if you'll have me, I've got better internet to do the podcast next week.
All right, yeah, we'll do it. What? Live from Mississippi.
Yep.
So what's different about Mississippi? I know there's a lot of differences, but like, what are some of the biggest things about being in Mississippi that are different? Like
Humidity.
humidity. Yeah. What kind of
well,
restaurant chains they got down there we don't got up here?
So, basically, even though Waffle House is still a thing down there,
yeah.
the big one, especially if you go Middle Illinois and South, so I'm sure Adam knows about this, is Huddle House.
Huddle House.
It's the same thing. It's just Waffle House with a different name.
Wait, huddle? Like a football huddle?
Yes, exactly.
What? Why?
I have no clue. I really don't.
All right.
There's also the southern version of White Castle, which is called Crystal.
Oh, I've heard of Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. That's like shitty burgers.
Yeah, shitty sliders. You know.
Yeah.
What else do they have down there? Captain D's. That's essentially just a really, really bad. Crap. What's the Long John Silver's? I was gonna say, what's the crappy fast food fish place that no one wants to go to ever?
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to
The
one
poor
of those.
man's Red Lobster. So it's the poor man's Red Lobster.
Well, I mean, if we talk about Long John Silver's, they're still part of the Yum Brands umbrella, which is Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, Long John Silver's, A&W restaurants, not the root beer though, because root beer is owned. The A&W root beer is owned by Dr. Pepper, 7-Up Company, something like that. And then I'm missing one. Taco Bell, KFC. I missed that. Yeah, those 5 restaurants owned by Yum Brands, which is owned by PepsiCo, which owns everything. Which owns my soul. What else is in Mississippi? Basically, you know, the high teen pregnancy, you know, all the other stuff that you'd expect. Where I'm going though, I wouldn't even call Mississippi. It's it's practically a suburb of Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
I live
Just across the border.
Yeah, a mile south. Which
I'm gonna see if I can find a Huddle House near us. I'm on the Huddle House website.
I think the closest might be Effingham. I'm not sure.
Oh man.
But
You made that name up.
no, Effingham. That's in Illinois. That's the town I always pass through on the way to Mississippi.
View all Huddle House restaurants. Show me them. There's 9 in Illinois, 97 in Georgia.
Yep.
Wow.
They're
So
all over the place.
let's see here. What? How far north is Mount Vernon?
That's just south of Effingham. Takes me about 4 hours to get there from here. But you would be coming straight down the center of Illinois. It would take you guys probably about 5.5 to get there.
Oh, that's real far south.
But you might be able to hit it, just a little bit past Adams.
Oh yeah. Why is it that we always turn to fast food talking? on this podcast. It's
You guys-
fun.
You guys,
John,
what's
did you
different
see
about-
the link I put for you in the notes?
No, I did. Oh,
Put a
yes.
special note under your section.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not going there.
Come on! It's not that far of a drive.
I don't get to go.
I got stuff going on.
You love fairs. So we're talking about the state fair, which
Yeah.
last week John professed his love for.
I profess my love for fairs. State fair is in Milwaukee, and I refuse to set foot in that heck hole.
You've got 11 days to go, and all you really need to do is pay for admission, go eat your corn dog, and leave. That's it. That's
I
all
wanna
we're
talk-
asking.
Yeah.
I want to talk about corn dogs for a hot sec. After we recorded our podcast last week, I purchased a 18-pack of corn dogs from the
Oh,
local Roundy's grocery store.
Which tells me
please
it's
tell
the,
me they're not gone already.
It's
Oh,
the
no,
state,
no.
It's the State Fair brand in the blue box, isn't it?
They're not. These are Roundy's brand because they
Oh,
were
you-
the cheapest ones. They taste the same. What are you, my kids? I need the name brand one. Like, nope.
Yeah.
It was $8 for 18 in this big pack. No. I haven't even cracked half of them yet. Oh, and that's over like a long weekend of eating corn dogs.
I made a valiant attempt to pick up the mac and Cheetos, but they were already gone.
I heard that.
Yeah, I saw you post about that.
They pulled
I
that.
was so disappointed.
Oh,
I mean-
that's disappointing. What are they doing?
They must have just pulled it too, because it wasn't on the menu, and I asked about it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we have that." Oh no, I guess we don't anymore.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Mac and Cheetos, 310 calories.
I'll just have to make my own.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, just go to TGI Fridays, get yourself the fried mac and cheese,
yeah.
get some Cheetos, and just grind them and just like use it as
Yeah,
a
just get
sprinkle
some
on it.
flaming hot Cheetos, smash them up,
Ugh.
get horrible diarrhea.
There's like people
gonna be
that
great.
eat the flaming hot Cheetos and then like pour like hot sauce in the bag and shake it up.
Oh, that sounds like heartburn central.
Why?
Well, because people. Have you been to America, the land of hating our bodies?
Can we at least coat the Cheetos with Pepto Bismol too? You know,
Yeah,
just
How about a
The last
bag
time
of?
I went, the last time I went to Walmart, I got a bag of flaming hot Cheetos because
Nice.
it seemed like the right thing to do.
Yeah. No, what you do is you get a bag of Cheetos Puffs and then pour the Pepto Bismol in that and shake it up, and then you just alternate. You know what I mean? That sounds awful. Who would do that? Not me. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
I mean, in college,
You know what?
maybe someone would have, dared me to do it, and I probably would have.
Yeah, it's kind of one of
You
those
know that
dare
Tums,
foods.
Tums are the perfect drug.
Why is that?
You know this? Have I mentioned this before?
You
because
mentioned
the
it to me in
calcium-
passing.
The calcium soothes your heartburn and also triggers acid production, so you end up having worse heartburn later. So you feel temporarily better, and then it creates a need for more medicine later on.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you hear this?
From a doctor podcast. Also, Bear invented heroin, so there's that.
Okay.
As a safer alternative to morphine.
I don't know if I can read this. I don't know where I'm hearing anything about this. What doctor said this?
Dr. Sidney McElroy.
I don't know. I'm reading a website that has lots of good things called naturalnews.com talking
Okay,
about
no,
how
that's bullshit.
this doesn't seem like a
can
real
tell you right
doctor
now.
thing.
I mean, isn't Tums just calcium carbonate? And when you mix it with hydrochloric acid, all you get is calcium chloride, which is the calcium that we absorb, and then just carbonated water, which then just breaks up into water and carbon dioxide, so it just makes you burp. That's the chemical reaction that I learned when it comes to Tums.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing any of this information, Matt.
I'm at the U.S. National Library of Medicine website. It seems like it increases serum gastrin and gastric acid output after intragastric calcium carbonate. Blah blah blah. It doesn't seem like it's very much, but it does.
But it isn't. So it's basically what you're saying is, it's like you got a fire in your stomach, and you're throwing like some water on it, but
you're using one credit card to pay another.
Yeah, exactly. Like it may help in the short term, but in the long run, it doesn't get the job completely done. I don't get heartburn too much, but when I do, I have a Tums.
One time I got heartburn because I got a pill stuck in my throat that dissolved.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was like they were trying me on ADD medicine for a while, and it was like some kind of stimulant, I think. But it was like a capsule that just burst open in my lower esophagus and like burned the flesh there. So it hurt. It hurt quite a bit for like a solid week after that.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was bad. I didn't take that medicine very long.
No.
Because since it's a stimulant, like a couple of nights after I took it, my alarm went off in the morning, and I just immediately sat bolt upright.
Oh wow!
Like eyes shot open. I was like, maybe I shouldn't take this anymore.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's funny that you were talking about Bayer basically inventing heroin as a safer alternative to morphine.
Yeah.
A link you guys sent me kind of got me into a hole I still haven't got out of. You guys got me watching those Kurzgesagt in a nutshell videos.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I love that.
And I just recently rewatched the one about addiction science. The fact that essentially what we give to patients to completely sedate them is essentially either something along the lines of purified cocaine or purified heroin, and when they come out of it, they're not addicted, even though it's the same stuff for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's mostly due to circumstances. You basically hold someone, by themselves, separate them from society, give them drugs, and they'll desire that drug. It's their only escape.
Yeah.
Give them drugs and then socialize them. They don't want that anymore. But you guys sent me the link. If we want to kind of segue over to one of our news items.
Let's segue over to the destruction of Earth.
Yes.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I watched that video and I was like, you always like, I don't know, there's that, what's that, we're just like a speck of dust in the universe. And you're like, yeah, that's what it feels like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's basically been me. Like, whenever I have a really anxious day, I load up Universe Sandbox on VR and I set everything to like 1-to-1 scale. And I just have two Earths crash into each other in real time. And I remember that I'm a tiny... Yeah, it's like, oh shit. Yeah, I'm really, really small, aren't I? Okay. And then everything seems much less significant.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were talking about gamma ray bursts.
Yes.
Yeah. When you guys sent me the link, I wasn't even, I didn't know about this thing kind of making its way around the news cycle this time around.
Yeah.
But I randomly the night before had a dream about gamma ray bursts. I'm like, oh, if that happens, whatever. I can't do anything about it. And then you sent me the link.
You want to explain for the audience what a gamma ray burst is?
Yeah, okay. So this is pretty easy. I'm trying to find a really easy explanation of it that's not a video. But basically, gamma ray bursts are short-lived bursts of gamma ray light, which is the most energetic form of light. Lasting anywhere from a few milliseconds to several minutes. They shine hundreds of times brighter than typical supernova, but 1,000,000 trillion times as bright as the sun. When a gamma ray burst erupts, it's the brightest source of cosmic gamma ray photons in the observable universe.
Yeah, and it goes out in what's more or less a line. So it's like a giant death laser from space.
It's a laser pointer death ray of death energy.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing about gamma ray bursts is it moves at the speed of light. So by the time you see it, by the time we even knew it was coming, we'd all be dead.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, so actually the way that gamma ray bursts were discovered, too, is really interesting. So In the late 60s, U.S. military satellites, which were looking out for Soviet nuclear testing, the satellites carried gamma ray detectors, since nuclear blasts produces gamma rays. So, you know, the radiation from nuclear blasts that kill people? That's what this is. Yeah. So,
it's like many millions of times more powerful.
Yeah, just shooting directly through Earth. They didn't find any violations of the nuclear treaty, but they did discover bright bursts of gamma rays coming from beyond the solar system. So it's really interesting, kind of how they discovered it, and blasts last short period to long periods. But I guess the nice thing is we have a thing called the ozone layer, which protects us from most cosmic radiation. But
so I was kind of digging. Because before I read your guys' article, because this has been making the news cycles, someone posted on Reddit and explained it like I'm 5.
That's good.
How the ozone layer actually protects us.
Yeah.
And someone was actually describing it's not just the ozone layer. Ozone layer may do the bulk of the work, but it's actually the entire atmosphere that helps scatter the rays.
Got it. Yeah, so like the rays will hit the Earth and then kind of bounce off. So that's actually another reason why people think that maybe some of the reason why we haven't found any other intelligent life in the universe yet, or any signs, is gamma ray bursts basically just annihilate anything that doesn't have a protective atmosphere. You know, so it makes it really rare.
Well, even if it has a protective atmosphere, it would immediately boil ours away, and it would vaporize the crust even, I think.
Depending on how long it would be sustained for. So short bursts are basically what bounce off, but yeah, like a gamma ray burst could last two whole minutes of laser heading directly at Earth would break through any protective layer that would exist. You know, depending on what angle it hit, you know, if it were to hit direct on...
if you were on the exact opposite side of Earth when this happened, you would have a few minutes warning.
Yeah.
Just because, like, the winds would go nuts because the atmosphere on the other side of the planet was boiling. But you wouldn't have very long.
Yes. So I want to talk about an interesting discovery that was found a few years back. The Earth may have been hit by a gamma ray burst about 1,200 years ago. So I guess researchers had found...
1,200?
Yes, 1,200.
Okay.
An analysis of Japanese trees indicates a sharp increase in carbon-14 to carbon-12 ratio around the year 774, 775. So I guess most carbon, like in trees, is carbon-12. Each atom has 6 protons, 6 neutrons. There's carbon-14, which has 8 neutrons and 6 protons. Carbon-14 is a radioactive element that decays into nitrogen over time. The fact that there's any carbon-14 on Earth means there must be made continuously to resupply the atoms that go away. This is done by cosmic rays, or like nuclear blast, fallout, carbon-14. But, you know, there weren't any nuclear blasts happening in 775 AD. So I guess they think it is possible that a gamma ray burst hit, like, in that Japan area for some time, causing radioactive carbon-14 to be seen in these Japanese trees, as well as American European trees. They've seen carbon-14 ratios higher at some of the points, which is kind of insane. They're saying solar flares can cause that, you know, because solar flares can shoot radiation onto the Earth as well. But they're saying probably the most likely thing is a supernova in a nearby galaxy shot a large gamma ray burst that hit the Earth at that point and did some damage. Of course, not enough to destroy the Earth or do any major damage, but enough to definitely affect things like trees and whatnot, and probably animals and stuff, although that was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, I imagine that would trigger like a sudden explosion of mutations.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's just, you know, a little radiation bath on Earth. It's cool.
Well, that's where all the dragons went. That's why we can't find dragons anymore.
Yep. They actually talk about how gamma ray bursts may actually also be behind possible some of the extinction events that have happened in the past on Earth as well, like the Ordovician extinction that happened 440 million years ago. That's the largest of the big 5 extinction events. I read a book actually called The Sixth Extinction. which is really
Yeah,
interesting.
the one
read.
that's happening right now.
Yes, it's called the sixth extinction, which is the extinction that's happening now, or at least theorized to be happening now. Of course, it's hard to encapsulate an event that happens over hundreds and hundreds of possibly millions of years while we're in the middle of it. But I guess it kind of talks about how the signs are there. But the Ordovician's event was probably one of the most intense events. I'm trying to get a number as I'm going through this.
5.
Here we go.
Any specific number or just 5?
No. So the extinction was global, eliminating approximately 50 to 60% of marine genera, which is a couple steps above species, like just types of animals, and nearly 85% of all marine species on Earth. Like,
Oh.
yeah, it's pretty big. So gamma ray burst is kind of like one of those, like, yeah, maybe that's a small minority of scientists are saying that could have happened. It could be glaciation, could be, super volcano, could be anything. But it's pretty crazy, yeah. But it happens a lot on Earth. Triassic was pretty big as well. The dinosaurs dying off before the Jurassic period and whatnot. So it's a scary thing.
Can we talk for a minute about vacuum metastability events?
Okay, what is that?
So this is highly theoretical, but there's what's called a false vacuum, which is it appears to be a vacuum, but it's not stable due to quantum tunneling. So like that in itself is theoretical and everything. But there's a possibility that our entire universe exists in a false vacuum, in which case a vacuum metastability event would evaporate the entire universe without any warning.
Okay.
Just immediately everything would be gone.
So what you're saying is this is like a step above my samurai neighbor theory.
It's like imagine a bubble.
Yeah.
In like some sort of thickened liquid, and then all of a sudden that bubble pops and the liquid fills in, and then there's just no evidence that the bubble was ever there.
I don't like to think about that. I don't like that. No, but yeah, I think I've said this on the podcast maybe 100 times by now. But my samurai neighbor hypothesis or thought is, gosh, I think it was in Appleton. Some guy was walking out to his car in the morning, and his neighbor stabbed him with the samurai sword, killing him because his neighbor thought that he was stealing his energy, and that person went to jail. So I say, if people because I've had anxiety issues, and I know people do, I always like to think of, at any moment, your neighbor could come at you with a samurai sword and kill you because he's a crazy person. So what's the point of worrying over stuff that you can't control? Because there's so much that you can't control that you could die at any second, like with a false vacuum. So, yeah, some things just don't deserve you to worry about,
So has this become the Apocalypse Now portion of the podcast? Where we
I
talk
don't
about
know.
all the ways we're gonna die tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't like this.
I can lighten things up if you want.
Okay.
Okay, let me start this off by saying I'm not a licensed marine cryptozoologist.
Okay. I'm afraid where this is going.
I like it. I want to hear more.
So there was this stuff you should know today about mermaid legends. I ended up thinking, how would that work? I was wondering about mermaid reproduction, so I looked into it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And here's I'm going to take you on this journey. Feel free to interrupt if you have any questions. So first of all, the mermaids, they're always depicted with bosoms. So I think from that we can assume that they're mammals. They're marine mammals.
Okay.
So they're either placentals, meaning they give live birth, or monotremes, meaning eggs, like platypus or echidna.
Yep.
And I don't think they're monotremes, but I'm going to talk about that first because it's weirder.
Yeah,
Well, maybe. So the platypus has poisonous spurs that it holds its mate down with.
that's correct.
And they're ready to mate at 2 to 4 years old. And the echidna has a 4-headed penis.
Yep.
So you can just imagine mermaids with that. But I think it's probably much more likely that they're placental marine mammals. So sadly, if they don't lay eggs, then that means there's no mass spawning event for mermaids.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins, whales, and humans generally mate one-on-one, belly-to-belly. That's debatable with humans. But fun fact, dolphins have a retractable penis that's able to swivel around, and it's often used to feel out other objects, like a hand. So that's why male dolphins are often seen trying to hump inanimate objects in sea turtles. So given that mermaids have two prominent mammary glands, it's probably likely that they'd only give birth to one offspring at a time, with multiples being a rare and possibly dangerous occurrence. And the gestation period would range between 18 and 10 months. More likely it'd be between 10 and 12 months. And the female mermaid would probably nurse its young for a couple of weeks before it started a steady diet of seagrass and small fish. Now that I think is the most likely scenario. But there's another one. Yes.
So I'm having trouble with this because a couple bits, and I don't know why I'm pressing into this, but a couple bits of the mermaid anatomy is kind of bothering me.
Yes.
Because we're talking about the fact that the mermaid does have a dorsal fin, which is more akin to a fish as opposed to a mammal. And
do you think they? Yeah.
I have a feeling that the apparent mammary, the apparent mammaries that the mermaid has is actually a distraction, and it's actually
it's like a lure.
Yes, it's a lure. It's a predatory device in order to be able to eat humans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I think a mass spawning event is much more likely.
Mm-hmm.
I also had a problem with, like, they're usually depicted with scales, and if they're marine mammals, it should be smooth. So, what are you gonna believe? But here's another, so that's like kind of the dolphin whale model of things. There's another model. It's the manatee model, and manatees are actually thought to be the basis for these legends.
Correct.
But, they're aquatic placental mammals. They give birth to one offspring at a time and nurse it for a few weeks. So biologically, it's pretty similar, but they've got a drastic cultural difference. Female manatees are followed around by dozens of male manatees at a time, and they mate indiscriminately in that mating herd for up to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a female manatee is just a female cosplayer at an anime con?
Yeah, they're just running a manatee train.
I just don't know. Matt, you're taking me down a hole here because this is just really interesting. I'm looking at stuff. I'm like,
my search history is like dolphin penis, dolphin gestation, whale penis. Oh, here's a bonus fact, and this is the last bonus fact I have.
What about fish penis?
See, that's more of a spawning thing. And platypuses have a cloaca, so I don't even know what's going on there.
Well, fish have cloacas.
The average blue whale penis is 8 feet long.
Okay.
So that's just a bonus fact.
Of course, the first thing I find out with fish penis is the candiru, which is the toothpick fish. That's the one that goes up the urethra.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So that is now not necessarily true.
Yeah, I heard that a little bit.
Yeah, so the first documented case of having removal of a candiru from a human urethra did not occur until 1997, and then of course that event was controversial and being like, well, I don't actually know if that really did happen.
Yeah.
especially
And I
because
think they didn't save it for like study or anything.
yeah. So we don't know. This is some okay. I want to talk about this event then. So this is interesting. The only one documented case of this ever happening. So this is like one of those things. It's like some guy said this, so it could happen. So this incident.
It's so scary. You just keep repeating it.
The 23-year-old man, only known as FBC, he didn't want people to know his name, that he had a dickfish. He claimed a Kindiro jumped from the water into his urethra as he urinated while thigh-deep in a river after traveling to, how do you pronounce that? Manaus, Brazil, somewhere in there?
Yeah, something like
On
that.
October 28, 1997, the victim underwent a 2-hour urological surgery by Dr. Anwar Samad to remove the fish from his body. In 1999, American marine biologist Stephen Spotts traveled to Brazil to investigate this incident in detail. He recounts the event in his book called Kindiro, The Life and Legend of the Blood-Sucking Catfishes. Interesting. I met the doctor in person, interviewed him in his practice and home, gave him some photos, the original VHS tape of the cystoscopy procedure, and the actual fish's body preserved in formalin as his donation. They took these materials and examined them, comparing them to his paper. Several observations were made. According to the doctor, the patient claimed the fish had darted out of the water, up the urine stream, and into his urethra. That is no way physically with fluid physics for that to be possible.
Not at all.
The documentation and specimen. Oh, my cat's losing its mind over the thunder that's happening.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
It's like the end of days here.
Yeah, the documentation, the specimen indicated the fish that was 133 millimeters in length and a head with a diameter of 11.5 millimeters. That's a centimeter across, a little bit more than. That is pretty wide. It would have required significant force to pry the urethra open to this extent. And of course, it has no appendages or any apparatus that would have been necessary to accomplish this. It definitely would not have had enough speed leaping out of the water to get that. The doctor says they're attracted by urine, but this is discredited by research. Yeah. Fish had chewed its way through the ventral wall of the urethra into the patient's scrotum. The researcher notes that Candiru does not have teeth strong enough to actually cut through flesh. What do you think actually happened then? Because obviously the guy had it in his dick. I know what happened. This dude stuck a fish up his dick, and then he had to go to a doctor. That's what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and he was like, "It jumped up there. I don't know what's going on."
Swear to God, it's jumped up the stream. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. That's
So this is completely different, but whenever I hear about this fish, I always, like, the first thing I think of is that parasite that eats a fish's tongue and then replaces it.
yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
I always just imagine this fish eating your penis and then trying to pretend it's your penis.
Yeah. What's the name of that? That thing. Does it have a common name?
Horrifying
it's-
space monster.
Simothea exigua is a parasitic isopod, also known as the tongue-eating louse. You can actually see it.
Oh yeah, it's because it's a louse. It's related to like head lice and stuff.
Yep. So it just extracts blood through its claws in the front, causing the tongue to atrophy from lack of blood. Parasite then replaces the fish's tongue by attaching its own body to the muscles of the tongue stub.
Yeah.
The fish is then able to use the parasite like a normal tongue. It appears the parasite does not cause any other damage to the host fish. It replaces the tongue. It feeds on the mouth cavity sometimes, but mostly it just eats the food that the fish eats as well. So,
I mean, isn't that almost pseudo-symbiotic?
uh-huh.
Because aren't they both surviving?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say that the fish doesn't benefit from it. It just
Yeah.
True.
sort of
So-
doesn't.
Yeah, it's not
Doesn't have a bad
symbiotic.
time.
It's parasite and host.
Okay.
But it doesn't kill the fish. It just it kind of takes its own advantageous position. It's not like the fish, the remoras or whatever that clean the scales of other fish to get food.
Or even like the parasitic plants that are in Mississippi.
What are those?
What is
Eighties?
that?
They're called kudzu.
Yeah, kudzu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
I think it was imported
It's
from
everywhere.
like, Asia, and it's everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. It didn't just
Of
hit,
course.
it thrived. I mean,
I think
it's
this is a
consumed
good
houses.
time to transition to brain-eating amoebas.
Oh no! I want to talk
We're on the
about.
parasite topic.
I want to talk to. Woo! Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. Have you heard of this?
Cordyceps.
No, what's that?
I know what cordyceps are.
Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. What's cordyceps?
Cordyceps is a fungi.
Yes, it is.
It's a parasitic fungi.
Yes, it is. This is the fungi that lives in the rainforest, known as the zombie fungus. Of
Because
course.
Is that the
basi-
one that affects the leafcutter ants, or the,
Correct.
the
Yep.
one that kills? Okay.
So this is a fungus. Yeah.
Well, I guess the one that gets crickets is a worm. I think actually.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is.
There's a few. There's mind controlling parasites out there, people.
Yeah. So
like
this
tight.
is pretty insane how this works. So it targets a specific host species. So it's just the Campanocious leonarda ant, which I believe is a type of leafcutter ant. So the spores basically attach to an ant, eventually breaking through the exoskeleton using mechanical pressure and enzymes to burn through the exoskeleton. Fungus is spread through the ant's body and produce compounds that affects the ants' body chemistry, basically, and then also affects the brain and control by the ant. So basically, it doesn't necessarily cause a mind control, I guess. It's just that ants basically convulse to dislodge it to fall onto the forest floor. And then the ant climbs up the stem of a plant and uses its mandibles to
With
latch
its dying
onto
breath.
a leaf vein, basically, and kind of lock them into place, known as the death grip. The fungus then kills the ant and then grows itself, sprouts out of the ant's head, basically, and then down through the bottom of the ant to latch it to the plant. And then it grows fruiting bodies from the ant's head and ruptures, releasing the spores, infecting other ants. So basically the idea
And
is
the
that...
craziest thing about this, as if that's not crazy enough,
Yeah.
is that they've observed ant colonies watching their fellow ants, and you're kind of acting a little weird.
Yeah.
They'll grab them and they'll take them outside of the colony and be like, "Get the fuck out!"
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want you to infect anyone else. Yeah, so they basically infect an ant, make it fall onto the floor, climb up a branch, basically, lock in to get some height so the spores can have a better, way to get more spread out, catch more ants. So yeah, it's in Thailand and Brazil. So yep. Pretty crazy. So yeah, that's terrifying. I believe
This is
was that the story of The Happening? Was that based on that?
I think loosely, inspired by.
Yeah, the
No,
Last
that
of
might
Us.
The Last of Us. Yeah.
That might have been inspired by the cricket one though, because that one actually makes the cricket commit suicide.
Yeah, so The Happening
it's
was,
a worm that gets into the cricket's brain and makes them jump into water and drown themselves, so that the worm can get out and lay its eggs in the water.
Yeah, it's mass suicide by an airborne neurotoxin, which is, I think it's plants though. Yeah, it's just plants.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's just plants saying, "Hey, you guys, stop ruining everything."
I need to see The Happening. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
It sounds bad, but in a fun way.
Well, when the when I first started seeing trailers and stuff for it, I was really excited for the concept. But then when it came out, everyone's just like, "No, it's bad."
Yeah, the concept sounded really interesting. Okay, we got to talk about brain-eating
Especially 'cause
amoebas.
I'm a huge like pod people fan, so I got that kind of vibe from it. But yeah,
Yes.
brain-eating amoebas. This is fun.
Okay, so Naegleria fowleri, a warm water dwelling amoeba that can cause a life-threatening brain infection. The CDC this year confirmed a South Carolina swimmer has been infected. It's thought to have occurred on July 24th when the individual was swimming near Martin's Landing on the Edesta River in Charleston County. A drug used to treat patients with Naegleria fowleri was couriered overnight to Charleston. It is a free-living microscopic amoeba that occurs naturally and is present in many warm water lakes, rivers, and streams. Humans infections are super exceedingly exceptionally rare. Meaning there's been 40 cases reported in the last decade. So you're talking 4 cases a year.
The other time I've heard of this is somebody used it in like a nasal irrigation, like a neti pot.
Yes.
And they used unfiltered water.
Correct.
Went straight up to their brain.
Yes. So that is technically how it is most likely is going to happen. It's really difficult to contract, basically. So you have to be swimming in water where the amoeba is present, which is rare. Second, you must jump into the water feet first, allowing water to go up your nose with enough force that the amoeba can make its way to the brain. Most commonly, exposure results in the amoeba dying before it even gets far enough to cause an infection. But to be safe, you should avoid swimming or jumping into bodies of fresh water when the water is warm and the water levels are low. Also, you should either hold your nose or use a nose plug. You cannot be infected by drinking water containing the amoeba.
Awesome, I'm safe because I can't go underwater without holding my nose.
It just needs to go. Well, it's not, even if you went underwater without holding your nose, you'd be fine. It's literally the jumping into the water, causing water to shoot up your nasal cavity is what happens. So it's so rare.
And look, people, if you're going to use a neti pot, either get a gallon of distilled water or use a pure filter or something. Don't just put the raw unfiltered shit that comes out of your tap up your nose.
No. Buy fucking, distilled water or something. Why? Why would you ever do that? So, the amoeba typically just eats bacteria. But if it enters into humans, it can use the brain as a food source. The resulting infection is called Naegleriasis, or primary amoebic meningoencephalitis.
Or as I like to call it, you have something in your head eating your brain.
Yeah, symptoms appear after about a week include headache. Oh boy, Adam. Fever, nausea.
Oh shit.
His water in his apartment
him?
is like lake water. So Adam, if you're listening, get yourself
He's
checked
not
out.
listening.
He's been to the doctor. There's nothing wrong with him apparently.
Yeah, but they don't know to check for this. They have to do
That's
a
true.
brain. They have to drill into your skull.
Headache, fever, nausea, or vomiting. Eventually, as the infection spreads in the brain, symptoms include stiff neck, confusion, lack of attention, loss of balance, seizures, hallucinations.
Wait. Lack of attention?
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's all of us.
Adam!
Apparently, it was found in Minnesota last year as well, where child in Minnesota got the disease as well. Is it particularly fatal? I don't think so. It because the last recorded death was in 2015, most recently. So it's pretty rare, and the death isn't necessarily always going to happen. So I'm not saying it's a death sentence, but it is. Whew. Cover your nose when you jump into lakes, and you'll never have this. Basically.
What if I jump into plates?
If you jump into plates, cover your eyes so the shards don't cut your eyes. I don't know. Don't do that. That sounds like a bad idea. Okay, so I got to talk about what I did over this week.
Besides
Okay,
WoW?
but first, can I transition into something else that's terrifying and brain eating?
Yep, why not?
The most terrifying thing on this planet
Okay.
are prions.
Ah,
Because prions, they're not even fucking alive, John. They're proteins that are defective,
yeah.
and then they get in your brain,
Uh-huh.
and they tell all the proteins in your brain to start being that way, and your brain just falls apart. And there's nothing they can do about it. There's no cure. There's no treatment.
Yes. Yes. So this is so people that know about and it's not necessarily fatal. This is something that happens a lot of times. A prion is a prion protein. So like mad cow disease, that is what this is basically. Human prion diseases are Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, which is a genetic condition, which is fairly common. It's not super. It's not I guess it's not like a deadly thing. I don't know how to call it Creutzfeldt-Jakob syndrome.
I think it's the chronic wasting kind of thing.
Yeah. Actually, never mind.
don't think
it
there's
can
a-
be fatal. I'm thinking of a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is.
But that
this-
one, I don't think is.
Oh, okay.
well,
Sorry.
None of them are treatable. But,
I'm sorry. I'm confused. So Creutzfeldt-Jakob syndrome is a genetic inherited disorder, which is familial, which is like your just body produces proteins poorly, basically, and it's just kind of a thing. So you could survive quite a while. Whereas the chronic, not chronic, but the sporadic Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, which is the consuming of meat that is mad cow meat or something, can cause you to go crazy.
Would it happen with mad cow, or is it just cannibalism? When observing the human, I think there's a fear that it could happen from consuming mad cow meat or the deer version of chronic wasting disease, but I don't know if that's been proven.
Yeah.
But you can definitely, it's definitely been observed in cannibalistic tribes.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting.
So just don't eat people, guys.
Yeah. It's really easy to just die all the time.
Yeah.
Huh? Let's
I
see.
mean, that's the local
Transmission. Defective protein can be transmitted by contaminated harvested human brain products. Someone got it from a corneal graft from somebody.
Oh, what?
Uh,
From a cannibal?
no, a corneal graft from someone who was infected. They
but
donated their
does that mean the
corneas.
owner was a cannibal?
No, it can be
Oh.
caused by a mutation. That's just,
I don't want to keep driving things, but I have a cannibal story too.
okay. That's fair enough. Here we go. I'm going to get to the segue point for you. Cannibalism has also been implicated as a transmission mechanism for abnormal prions, causing disease known as Kuru, known among women and children of the Foray people in Papua New Guinea.
Oh yeah, okay, that's one I've heard of.
Well, the men of the tribe ate the body of the deceased and rarely contracted the disease. The women and children, who ate the less desirable body parts, including the brain, were 8 times more likely than men. So it's really just eating the brain of a dead person is bad.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't eat people brains.
Oh my god. Wait, there's also Gerstmann-Straussler-Schenker syndrome. Whatever that is. Yeah, so Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease has many different types. So don't do it, huh?
Don't.
Why are all the protein
Cannibalism.
disorders?
Not even once.
Why are all the protein disorders named after Germans?
I don't know, man. They just got some good protein scientists, I guess. But what about cannibals, Matt?
I've seen Human Centipede. Okay, so this is an ex-girlfriend's brother-in-law's coworker. So that's the connection to the story.
4 steps away.
Yeah, so take that for whatever truth you want
Sure.
to glean from it. But so she was on a vacation in Mexico with a bunch of friends, and she was going out to the clubs, having fun, meeting dudes, making out. She ends up meeting up with this one guy, making out with him for a while, and she was going to go home with him. And her friends were like, no, you should come back and party with us. So after some thought, she ended up turning him down and going home with her friends. And, you know, the rest of the vacation went off without incident, and she got home and she started getting this weird rash on her mouth, and she thought, oh God, I've got herpes or something. So she went to get it checked out. The doctor said, I don't know what this is, but I'll take
The
some
rash is
tests and
caused
send
by
it up."
a louse that's most commonly found in the bodies of the recently deceased. Says Snopes.com, as this is a legend that has many variations.
Nope.
Oh, wait, no, keep going. I'll find a different variation that this story matches.
All right. Why you gotta do this to me, John?
I'm just saying, this is Snopes, man. Any story that comes from 3 steps away, you gotta go to Snopes.
You can't let me believe. You can't just like. All right.
I mean,
anyways. The
Go ahead.
doctor takes samples, sends it off to a lab, and she doesn't hear back from him for a while. So she knows, all right.
Do the police come to her
Probably.
doorsteps asking
Yeah, the
questions
police
regarding...
came to her doorstep, John.
Oh, there we go, okay. The
They were like,
2003
"Hey."
email chain, okay.
Yeah.
It turns out the bacteria has been found
Fuck
that
it,
only
Jeremy.
occurs on dead bodies. It was later discovered that her boyfriend, who worked at a local undertaker's, has been overly friendly with his customers in past...
No.
So-
it
okay,
was
there's
the
another
guy
one.
Yeah, he lived in Mexico, and he was a serial killer, and she was going to be victim number 12.
That's crazy.
So pissed off at Jeremy right now.
Well,
I'll never see him again, but I hope he knows that I know that he's full of shit now.
oh, here we go. So this girl goes to Panama City, Florida for a vacation. She meets a guy, and they kiss, and then he asks her if she wants to go on a date. But she says no because she's going home soon. A couple weeks later, she goes to the doctor because she has sores on her mouth. She thinks it's an STD. The doctor says that's not an STD.
Yes.
It's a bacterial infection caused from eating decaying flesh. The girl gives the doctor the guy's contact information. The doctor calls the Florida police. Please check the guy. And it turns out he's been eating 2 girls that he has killed.
That's it exactly, except there were more victims.
So did he eat 2 girls and the 1 cup?
Yes. Well, yeah, he ate them out of a cup. He poured their parts into...
If it's all right with you guys, I'm gonna keep telling this story in the future as if it really happened.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
You know, maybe it did happen though. It's a legend. I'm gonna say though that it probably didn't happen to a person that you know.
Yeah,
You know,
it
but
probably
it may.
happened to somebody.
I was about to say this may have happened once at one point, causing this legend. I mean, it wouldn't put past me some of the things.
Oh man, I have so much skepticism, shame right now. Usually I don't fall for this stuff.
Oh, Matt, I think you told me the story a long time ago, and I looked it up, and I never told you, I guess, because I just wanted you to keep on
man.
believing.
I mean, it's...
Oh, man.
I tend to be very skeptical of what I believe in. You know, I mean,
This is
sometimes...
like the time. It's like the opposite of the time that I realized Santa wasn't real. Spoilers.
Yeah.
And
Spoilers.
I pretended to keep believing because I thought I got more presents if I got Santa presents and parent presents.
Yeah. Matt, would you say that the bubble has popped? Have we hit a podcast metastability event?
I can't hear you. You're crackly to me.
Okay.
Through the recording, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to try to fix it because I'll break everything. It'll fix
Yeah.
itself soon.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. When it comes to believing, I'll sometimes believe in life after love, or believe in a thing called love.
oh boy.
Um,
Just listen to
You
the
know
rhythm of my heart.
When it comes to like ghosts and paranormal stuff, I'm like Mulder. Like I want to believe because
Oh, I agree.
the world in
Yeah.
which the world where that stuff exists is so much more entertaining than the world where it doesn't.
Oh, man, I want to talk about a movie I watched this weekend that I wasn't going to bring up,
Hey.
but
Hey, John, what did you watch this weekend?
Thank you. I wasn't going to bring this up, but you talking about this made me think of it. So I continued my Albert Brooks movie marathon with a movie called Defending Your Life, which is really, really awesome. So basically, Albert Brooks' character, single guy,
Brother of
divorced.
Melvin Brooks.
Sure.
Yep.
Divorced. As his 40th birthday, he buys himself a BMW. You know, his friends give him a bunch of CDs, which are a hot new thing, as this is 1992, I think this movie came out. And he proceeds to be an idiot and, like, you know, while driving this Beamer, crash into a bus. And he wakes up, and he's being taken down a long hallway in a wheelchair with, like, hundreds of other people in wheelchairs. Everyone looks really stunned. And they end up going to a place called Judgment City, where you have to basically have, like, you get assigned, like, a case attorney, and then there's a prosecutor, and you basically have to defend the choices that you've made in your life to, like, a judge panel, basically. And it kind of goes through that. And he meets Meryl Streep in the afterlife, and they have, like, a little bit of a romance story, and it's very clear that her life was... I believe he sits in on one of her judgments, and they're just everyone's like watching in awe as she like saves her children from a burning building when her house burnt down. You know, and they're like, "Oh man, she's clearly an exemplary human being." And so the idea is like this is like how the universe works basically, and like Earth is like the lowest level, and like if you have a good life and you conquer all of your fears and stupid human emotions, you're able to like level up to another level of existence, basically. And they're like, you don't want to know about that. You wouldn't be able to understand it anyway, basically. And so it's kind of like a really cool idea of an afterlife as like a, basically, if you fail, like, and you haven't conquered it, you just get sent back. You know, you get to try again, and you won't remember any of this, and hopefully you'll make better choices next time. Yeah, it's really neat, though. But the ending's really cool. I don't want to ruin it, but it's really neat. I thought that was a really cool idea for kind of a weird supernatural afterlife type, like a lawyer prosecutor kind of courtroom drama.
That's like the closest thing to Hinduism in a Western movie.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah. Hinduism has that idea of the what's it, like a wheel or like a cycle or something? I can't remember.
The ever turning wheel of life, death, and rebirth.
Yeah, there's like a
The wheel in the sky that keeps on turning.
yes, thank you.
Big wheel keep on turning.
Yep. Yep. I was going to say another one, but what's the 70s song? Yeah, well, whatever. Anyway.
Hey, John, what did you do this week?
Okay. So I watched that movie. That was really cool. I highly recommend. It's on Netflix. It's an hour and a half, or actually it's 2 hours, but really neat to see. I played World of Warcraft Legion.
What's that?
Why?
I actually did play
John,
Legion.
John,
Legion. I
John.
have. Yep.
John,
Yep.
you're in a safe place.
Uh-huh.
We all care about you a lot.
Oh boy, what is this?
We just wanted to talk to you about how this World of Warcraft playing makes us feel about you. And
Oh, okay. How has it
affecting us.
affected you personally?
I want
used
to play it.
I'm infecting you.
Yes.
Hey, Matt, just think about this, man. If you were to buy the Legion expansion, you would get some custom skins in Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm.
So my brother, who listeners will remember the other week, was recently getting into PC gaming.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
I got him. He got the Battle.net launcher because I got him into all the free-to-play stuff, like
Yeah,
Heroes
of course.
Storm and Hearthstone and stuff.
Yeah.
So he texted me like maybe a couple of dadays ago. And he's like,
What's
Hey.
this World of Warcraft?
It's free to
you
play
want
to level
get into
20.
World of Warcraft?
Oh, boy.
Oh man, no, I can't get back into that. I will never
Oh.
come out. That is the closest to any like addictive substance. I used to occasionally smoke cigarettes. Nothing close to World of Warcraft.
Dude.
Like, I put that down without any second thought. World of Warcraft, I still get itches about.
I do too, and I keep relapsing. Like World of Warcraft, like when I was at the height of my addiction, like 2005, 2006, it was bad. Like it was to the point where my grades suffered in college. It was a point where when I would not be playing the game, all I would be thinking about is planning out exactly what I was going to do as soon as I got home to play the game. Like just
that
spending
was me freshman and sophomore year of college.
Yep, same here. And junior year a little bit, but then I kind of stopped. I had to quit because I was like, I got to go to school. I need to
perfectly tuned to keep hitting those dopamine triggers over and over and over and over again. And then you're the starving rat in the maze that will hit the dopamine button instead of the food button and die.
Yeah. So I got beta access to Legion, and so I played a little bit of the new Demon Hunters. So you know, like how World of Warcraft, you run around, you hit the spacebar to jump.
Yes.
What if I were to tell you that you could double
jump?
Okay, hold on. I'm downloading it right now.
You can double jump, and not only can you double jump, you can also jump a third time to cause yourself to have demon wings and float downwards for a while. So
like the Princess Peach treatment.
Yes, you're able to basically hover and like kind of glide for a short period, which is very useful for traversal.
As cool as that sounds, I still want to play my priest.
Yeah. Well,
wait. What was your spec?
Me? I'm holy spec.
Woo!
Shadow all the way.
Oh no.
Adam was a shadow priest.
You go play with your DPS toys, and I'll heal like a priest is supposed to.
Hey, look! I'll just solo to 60, which is and will always be the maximum. And you can go heal your raids or whatever.
Matt, what if I were to tell you that there were World of Warcraft servers that had vanilla WoW on them, and you could play them for free?
I thought those got shut down.
Oh no.
Not all of them.
The largest one did, but I've never done any illegal things. But if I were to have, I know of a server
if John did it, this is how he did it.
Exactly. OJ trial. If I did it. There's other ones besides the Astralis servers that got closed down or whatever they were, Nostralis. There are other ones that like have a 0 to 60 straight vanilla, 0 to 60 like 20% faster leveling. There's a 0 to 70 Burning Crusade version. And that's the two versions that I know of a thing that exists that's illegal that I would never do. But you can experience vanilla WoW. I really think they need to bring that back, though, because that's what I want to play.
What's the population on those servers like?
Very populated.
Really?
Big enough communities to warrant the ability for people to have raiding guilds and get, do all that stuff again. Molten Core, Blackwing Lair.
I mean, we could totally Born in the 80s party that.
So I'm not going to remember any of this tomorrow, and I'm going to need hypothetically, if there's anyone out there that knows where to find this stuff, I'm going to need them to email it to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think Adam's
send me information.
Adam's the only person who uses. I thought Adam uses the word hypothetical.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't gotten hypothetical in years.
It's been so long I can't even remember.
I'm about as square as you can think, so I've not gotten hypothetical. Yeah.
Oh man, what a loser! No. Peer pressure, peer pressure, peer pressure, peer pressure.
Hey, one of my favorite books.
Your entire family.
One of my favorite books of all time has two contradicting morals. It says to give in to peer pressure and try everything, but to try everything once. It's Green Eggs and Ham.
What book is it?
Of course. That's right. So
you know what I like about the movie The Burbs?
Okay. What a segue.
The moral of that movie is that all of your prejudices are correct and you're right to be afraid.
Okay. I'm going to convince you on why not to play Legion.
So, John, what did you do this week?
it does not hit you as hard the second time. Like it's not the same game anymore.
Well,
Now,
Yeah, the mechanic. I've seen. Go ahead.
this is 100% time number 3. Well, this would be time number 4 for me. I played just that 6 months during vanilla when you guys were playing for a little bit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Since I joined Drew's guild at the time, which was an endgame guild, I didn't have a good leveling community, and
Yep.
I was kind of in limbo at level 29.
Yeah.
Which didn't help me out. I just stopped playing. Didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Then I played Cataclysm, started from 1 again, got in a good leveling guild, got a bunch of got into a good community, got to 82. Played that for a year.
Yeah.
Then the itch kind of hit me again. I had already bought Panda at that point, so I'm like, let me go in. I'll pay for a 3-month subscription, and I played for a month. So I don't have that severe itch you guys do, but I still want to play it because I know people are playing it.
I'll say this. It is a great game to just buy the expansion, resub for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, play as much as you want, and because a lot of the expansions, like that initial, level 90 to 100 or 100 to 110, it's got some fun questing, some cool stuff, some new zones, you'll see it. And then if you don't want to do any of that high-level rating or any of that stuff, just unsubscribe. You know what I mean? It's not that much money. I mean, buying it, pre-ordering it's going to, save you some money. So it'd be like, what, $40 or $50 to get this. Mm-hmm. And you spend, I don't know, $15 to $30 to get yourself, 1 to 3 months subscription. And then you're good for a while. And if you don't ever play it again, it's fine. You can always unsubscribe.
Here's the problem with me trying to chase that particular dragon, and this is gonna get a little deep.
Okay.
But I don't miss the game. I don't even miss the game as it was back then.
I do.
It's the problem with all nostalgia. I miss the person I was when I played the game back then.
Oh, that's so true though.
Mm-hmm.
I miss.
And it's like that's something you can never attain. So why even chase after it?
It's so true though, because I remember many nights late playing with my roommate Drew, who still lives in Madison. I've talked to him, but he just both being in our respective rooms in our apartment, and me on my computer, him on his computer, and we're both in a raid together. Just shouting back and forth as things are going on, and be like, "What happened? I don't know. Did you see?" Oh, just awesome!
Having
such
no
good
outside responsibilities.
Yeah, nothing. It's like I got my homework done.
Your college classes can fuck off if you want, and nothing major's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm full of existential dread, and does my life mean anything? Am I wasting my time on this pale blue dot?
It turns out no, because it could just explode at any moment.
Yeah.
So as long as you're having fun,
no matter what you're doing, yes.
Yeah, there's nothing you could be doing. I think one way to put it is I don't think there has been anyone in the entire world, besides maybe Buddha, that's been satisfied with his life to 100%.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way to be 100%.
You live on after your death in the memories of others, but one day our species is going to be extinct, and our planet's going to implode, and our universe is going to evaporate.
Now, Matt, this podcast is going to be put on Voyager 4 and shot out
it's going to be inscribed on a gold record.
A gold disc. I want to do that. Is there a way to do that? Is there
put it on one of those quartz plates.
No, but I mean, I'm thinking of this. So is there a way, is this okay? Born in the 80s business plan. All right, I'm creating a company where we take mementos or some memories or some sort of recording. We'll figure out what it is. A quartz plate, whatever. A DVD. Just and we shoot it into space. And we shoot it into space and rocket it off, into the universe.
Yeah.
How about that? So there is this chance that you have been preserved forever in the universe. Or could fly into a supernova. Who knows? but you know,
TJ, you have Elon Musk's number, right?
yeah.
Of course.
Let's do this.
Of course I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you?
I mean,
have you?
John, you play Overwatch with him all the time, right?
Yeah, yeah. Have you seen the it's an internet meme, but oh boy, I'm gonna describe a picture of an internet meme. No, but so if you die, they have like a thing where you can be like put into like a potted plant and become like a tree, basically. Like make your yeah, and of course the idea is this is how we get haunted forests, says Sterling Archer, of course, putting bodies in trees and forests. But
I thought you got that from Japanese suicide forests.
no, the suicide forest is different. That's a place where Japanese young people go and hang themselves in a forest.
Oh,
I'm really disappointed that Natalie Dormer movie didn't meet expectations.
that summer with Lance, we watched Suicide Club, didn't we?
Oh yeah, Suicide Club's a great movie.
What is that?
Uh-huh.
Basically, I think it was a club of like 60 Japanese kids who decided to all kill themselves within a certain time period. Some of them jumping in front of trains, some of them jumping off the building.
Yeah, Suicide Club is fucking awesome. There's a 2001 independent horror film. No, basically the idea is this like kids in Japan, like there's an internet circle where like people are daring themselves to basically kill each other, and like just like doing suicide. And there's like a group suicide where a bunch of girls jump in front of a train, like, and
it was like 8 of them holding hands or something.
Yeah, and it turns out like there's a like group of weird people that like live in like a subway layer that are like basically orchestrating this and like sending out all these like messages to kids to kill themselves. It's pretty fucking awesome though, because I'm trying to think of who is the main dude in it. Why is this not happening? Who's the policeman dad guy?
I don't remember.
But anyway, yeah. So the idea is this like this kid. Oh, maybe. I thought he was I guess he's not a famous actor. I thought he was a famous Japanese actor. Well, anyway, Masatoshi Nagase. No, he's just been in a ton of shit. Anyway, yeah. So it's just pretty awesome kind of story. I like that. It's a good one. But anyway, I gotta move on. There's other stuff that's happened. Matt, do you want to ask me a question again?
What have you been working on?
Thank you. I got one other thing I've been working on. So I think listeners may hear me rambling on about this in the extras from last week's episode.
Oh yeah.
I was talking about how I wanted to make an emulation station machine and buy a Raspberry Pi and create my own like emulator. It's really easy to do that, huh? I ordered it on Friday, and it said it would show up by Saturday, or by Sunday. And I was like, all right, it'll be a Sunday afternoon project. It showed up Saturday at like noon. And I, got myself and reformatted a mini SD card, and I couldn't, my fucking USB mini SD card connector is fucking broken. So, but then I found another adapter, and I found out my laptop has an SD. Anyway, you get the RetroPie OS onto an SD card, plug it into the RetroPie, or plug it into the Raspberry Pi, plug the Raspberry Pi into an HDMI port, hook up a keyboard, and you have like everything you need to get started, basically. I mean, it's just powered. You plug in. You just transfer ROMs. It's fucking incredibly easy to get set up. It works with PS3 controller natively. Just plug in the PS3 controller with the charging cable.
So can I just come over instead of going to Mississippi?
Yeah, right. So even better than that, I actually have a Super Nintendo USB controller, which is really good. And I have an NES USB controller as well that works with this. So it's pretty awesome, like the ability. So yeah, I just kind of.
What are you working on?
I'm working on some Raspberry Pis. They're delicious.
I tried to take a stealth bathroom break and it didn't really work out. So I could hear you, but my mic was muted, and no matter how loud I yelled, you wouldn't hear it.
Yeah. No. So, yeah, I actually just went out and did it, and it took an afternoon. Frustrating bit. Make sure you just keep a USB keyboard connected to it. Like, the idea is once you get all the stuff set up and the controllers hooked up and the buttons mapped, it's like, all right, because the menu is built with the emulation station, which is the name of the like software emulator overhead that has basically like 30 emulators built into it, up to PS1, N64, which PS1 runs good, N64 runs like a fucking dog. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to work on the settings. I guess it tries to upscale to 1080, and that might be causing it. I'll have to go in, but basically, you have to keep your keyboard connected because, like, if you get into a jam and you don't have a keyboard, there's nothing you can do with a controller. So that's my advice: get a USB keyboard and keep it, and don't go with the wireless keyboard because stuff will happen where it won't connect to the wireless thing you have, and you want to have a wired one just at all times. So I need to buy a wired keyboard or find one or beg, borrow, or steal one from IT at my work because I'm sure they have a fucking... Those of you who've worked IT know this, but I'm sure they have a fucking giant just dumping pit of USB keyboards somewhere that I can just have one. But yeah.
I had to use my dumping pit USB keyboard after I spilled a bunch of coffee on my other keyboard.
Yeah, because I have a really nice, super heavy CM Storm, like Cherry MX, like, you know it.
Clackety clack cluck.
Which I love.
Clickety Clack is my favorite Born in the 80s host.
Yeah, Clickety Clack, good character.
Trial.
Okay, no, not Trial, lady, for God's sakes. I'd like to hear Game Crazy Lady, though, if I could.
Any particular one?
Nope, just surprise me.
You showed some mad skills there.
Thank you. I did show some...
How did you do it, dog? That was the bomb diggity, my...
Oh, that was cut off. I love Booyah. Okay.
Booyah! Booyah! Booyah!
Okay.
How'd you
That's
do it,
what I
dog?
feel, though, about my Raspberry Pi project. So, yeah, I have, like, hundreds of NES games and Super NES games, all of which I own legally. Hypothetically, if I were to have this, I would have those on there. Oh, man, emulation's such a blurry area, though. Like, what do you think about that, TJ, as a classic games liker?
I've been on both sides of the thing. I've been in college and poor and wanted to play the old stuff, and well, actually, I've actually been doing it since I was about 13, 14 years old with the old Pokemon games, because we had one computer with the internet and floppy disks, and I was able to move them from upstairs to downstairs.
Nice.
You know, I like the convenience, but, you know, especially now working in, you know, in the thing, I'm trying to get everything as legally as possible, but things that I can't, you know, if I happen to have other ways, you know, make it easier for me. I think even Jim Sterling had something to say about it recently on his Jimquisition.
Yeah, he actually talked about this recently. Yeah, I love Jim Sterling, by the way. I watch Jimquisition every week. Everyone should watch it. He's fucking phenomenal. But yeah, he talked about emulation and that. I mean, it's hard to side with a company like Nintendo, who is draconian and terrible with their licensing, and, you know, will, of course, take money away from YouTube people using, like, you know, their fair use, you know, according to the law, under fair use, using their material.
As much as I love Nintendo, you know, I'm still a Nintendo fanboy, but as much as I love them, their Virtual Console ports are horrible.
They're either great, some of them are great, some of them are just hot garbage.
I'm not talking about the gameplay. I'm talking the color field.
Oh, really?
It just looks so drab. Everything is just not quite there. It doesn't have that brightness.
Like, their emulation isn't matching the original.
Even, you know, on all the systems, you look at the NES, you look at the even like the Wii U, who has a DS and Game Boy Advance emulation. Yeah. It's just not quite there.
You know, the thing that really bothers me about the way that Nintendo handles their emulation, too, is that it's like a Virtual Console exists on the Wii, exists on the Wii U, exists on 3DS. Do your purchases go across all those? Fuck no, they don't. It is
Only
just each is
kind of.
Oh yeah, only kind of, and weirdly like not completely.
Yeah.
It is like I should be able to buy Super Mario Brothers for like $4 or $3 or $5, whatever they charge for NES games, and just always have it on my Nintendo consoles, tied to my like Nintendo account.
And
they do not do that.
That was the original, or at least that was what they were trying to tell their shareholders
Yeah.
about the original idea of bringing Nintendo account, which it's something that Microsoft's been doing well for years.
Oh my
Something that
God, it's great.
PlayStation's been doing well for years, except for the PlayStation 4. Well, I'm not talking about cross buys in that case. I'm talking about, purchasing, PlayStation Classic games.
Yes.
PlayStation 4, you want to play PS3 games on your PS4? Either it better have come out as a remaster and you have to rebuy it, or it's PlayStation Now, which is still garbage.
It's so spotty.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was playing a game on that. I forget the name. Oh, Enslaved, because I never finished Enslaved, so I rented it because I was like, I want to beat this. I can beat it in a weekend. And I remember getting to a point where I got really far in like a section, and it kept saying like connection issue, stabilize or game connection will be lost. And of course, it disconnected me, and I had to restart without a save point. And I was like, I will never play this again. It's like playing with a TV that could randomly turn off. And you're like, no, like I had a wired connection and it just, lost connection. I was like, this is bullshit. Why would anyone ever do this? Like, unless it's perfect.
And the only classic games you can get on the PlayStation 4 now are PS2 classics on PS4.
Yes,
but
the ports are suspect as well.
It depends on the ports. I've only played a couple.
I played Dark Cloud 2.
Dark Cloud 1 was working fine.
Okay.
I bought that one because it's the only one I have, and I haven't played Dark Cloud 2 yet, even though everyone tells me it's so much better. I need to finish 1 first.
I love Dark Cloud 1. I played a ton of that.
But, and Parappa was fine, too. I didn't have an issue with that. Parappa 2's on there. But those purchases don't carry over from your PS3.
And the PS3 has such a giant library.
I know it does.
Suikoden 2. I want to play that. Can I play that, please? No, I have to play it on my PS3, which isn't hooked up on my main TV anymore. Can I play it on my PS4? No. Can I play it on the Raspberry Pi emulator that I have? Easily.
I would be tempted to rebuy the PS2 classic. I mean, Persona 4, Persona 3 FES.
Yeah, of course.
Because those are on my PS3.
Yep.
And I don't want to hook up my PS3 to do it.
Uh-huh.
Or hook up my PS2 because I still have the physical discs. But the library's so limited.
Mm-hmm.
At least they hit the good ones first, though.
Yeah.
The Grand Theft Auto 3 trilogy is all on there.
Yeah.
Bully was just added recently.
Yeah.
Which I've not played it.
Oh, it's good.
I want to. I know
played through that whole thing. It's awesome. So I would like to mention this, though. So, like, the long and short of the emulation argument to me is, and but this by no means, I'm not an expert. I don't want to speak for everyone or anything, but it is the companies and their, like, terrible policies, like the PS Classics or Nintendo's Virtual Console, are making me do this. If it was easy to get these games in a way that was ubiquitous, where I wasn't rebuying the same Virtual Console games over and over again, or I don't buy them because I fear when they move to the NX, all of my Wii U Virtual Console games that I've purchased won't go anymore. So I'm like, well, I could buy Earthbound on here because I'd like to finish it, and I like playing games on that gamepad, but when the NX comes out, I'm sure it won't connect. So I'll have to buy it again. And
I think Jim Sterling actually put it best.
Yeah.
It was people aren't going to start buying these ports, these whatnot, when the alternative is easier, better, and free.
Yeah.
It's the whole Napster argument.
Yeah.
We didn't start getting onto a point where we're starting to at least get money back in the hands of artists a lot more convenient. MP3s, that made it a lot easier.
I mean,
then we jumped to Spotify.
I used to pirate music, when I was in college or in high school, Napster and all that. But once Amazon had MP3s ubiquitously that you could purchase, or iTunes, where it was like, I want a song, it's $1. And it instantly shows up, and I can put it on my iPod. Or now, streaming services. I can play it, and ad revenue goes to the people that make the song. It's like, they made it easy, so now people don't pirate anymore. Like, what's the point of pirating a song when you can listen to it for free on YouTube or the internet or whatever, and some ad revenue, minor as it may be, at least something is going towards the artist.
On the PC side, it's the reason GOG's a thing.
Yeah, good old games. Same thing. DRM free. You know, you want an old game, you buy it and you have it like forever. You know, you can make an archive of those on a hard drive and you'll always have them.
Heroes of Might and Magic 2 Gold. I bought that.
Really? I never played that. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 was my big Heroes of Might and Magic game.
They're not too different. So
No.
if you know one, you know the other.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my emulation argument and my thoughts. I have bought so many retro games. And the crazy thing is that, like, if you're arguing Nintendo's not going to make any money off of me, it's like, what am I going to go buy a Super Nintendo game? They're not making any money off of that. Well, the used game company is making money off of that. It's crazy.
That's my market.
Mm-hmm. What is this? Matt has sent an archive.org link. Console living room. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, I
of
know
course.
about that. Yeah.
So this is...
As far as I know, this is all approved.
Wait, so these are what? Emulators?
Emulators, yeah.
Oh, so these are ROMs.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking incredible. Awesome. I'm gonna This is much better than the terrible websites that I've gone to.
I think the way archive.org functions is they'll start to back up stuff without permission, but they won't publish it publicly until they get like a verbal okay from the original publisher. Oh,
yeah,
Paperboy.
Yeah, that's basically how they work. They're like, hey, we put the stuff out, and if they ask us to take it down, we will. Like it's archive, and if a rights holder, like, you know, yeah. So this has, oh man, it looks like there's no Nintendo stuff on here. It looks like.
Yeah, I think Nintendo did put a
well, I mean, there's
cease
Super
and desist
DK.
on it.
Yes, there is, but like for instance,
Battletoads.
Yeah, the Retro Pi has some crazy stuff though. Like, we're talking like Wonder Swan Color, Neo Geo, like some crazy consoles that I haven't played. Oh, there's an Atari 2600 emulator,
I think
which was my first console.
And playing the RetroPie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it gives like a BIOS version and a game files and something else.
Yep.
Game metadata file list, emulator metadata, BIOS file, game file, CFG file.
Wow, I'm gonna have to go through this Sega list though, because I don't have many Sega games on my RetroPie yet, but there looks like some good stuff here. I mean, it's the best version of Mortal Kombat outside of the arcade.
General Chaos. I'm hoping that's on there.
Oh, we're back at Dinosaur's Tale.
Oh no!
Oh.
But you know, all the Sonics we talked about, you know, Outrun. Oh man, I actually don't know if the RetroPie has an arcade emulator. Does it have MAME?
It could be added.
Let me just see if it does. No, it does have MAME built in. Oh, that's going to be where I'm going to spend most of my time, though, because...
So you can just go ahead and cancel that World of Warcraft stuff. And
oh, my God. Oh.
Burger time!
Do you know my
Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi!
Do you know what my favorite arcade game of all time is? Sunset Riders. Absolute favorite.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
Oh, my God. When I was growing up, we would visit...
the Game Gear version of Lion King.
Yeah. Exactly. We would visit a ski lodge up in the UP, and we'd go skiing, but in the hotel, in the pool, arcade kind of area, there were a couple games that played a ton of Moon Patrol, which I fucking loved, and a ton of Samurai Showdown. They had I believe the Samurai Showdown was a... God, what is it called? A cocktail machine. So it was a table which had the screen on it, and you'd both look down on it. But it also had a Sunset Riders 4-person 2-screen system. So there was 2 people on each side, and the TV facing each side. So you would basically all 4 be playing Sunset Riders. It was fucking awesome. My favorite game. You're cowboys shooting people. It's awesome.
Do you think it's the analog to the start button?
Are you talking about on your
Spacebar,
keyboard?
not enter. Yeah.
I don't know. You'd have to look at the emulator dealio. that's kind of what I've been into lately. I'm gonna spend a lot more time doing it. Keep working on it. I mean, like I've been trying to get a lot of good Game Boy Advance games because I have quite a collection. I kind of want to like play some of them again, and I mean, I could break out the DS. The 3DS doesn't do NES or Game Boy, right? Advance. It's just the DS.
It's just the original DS and the DS Lite. Once you go
The
to
DS
DSi,
Lite. I have the DS Lite.
Yeah, DS Lite's fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So to play Game Boy Advance games, because or I could use the RetroPie. Anyway, so yeah, fucking awesome. I love retro games, and I love the ease in which Nintendo has allowed us to purchase them, and I bought them on the Virtual Console, you know, because it's so cheap and easy. But they should make it easier.
So I'm gonna throw a couple things in. I just want thing I watched this week that I want the listeners to all see.
Yep.
And a thing I started playing. Not that I care that anyone watches. Well, no, that was last week. But
Sorry, I've been drinking, so I'm being disruptive. I apologize for that.
That's fine.
Disrupt the menu.
Disrupt the menu.
Hack the menu. Hashtag hack the menu.
So, the guy who voices Rick and Morty.
Yep.
You might know where this is going. There was
the court thing.
Yes, there was a very disruptive guy in a court in Georgia, I believe.
Oh my god, I read this original transcript when it hit the news originally, and it was fucking incredible. And could you imagine my love when the Rick and Morty guy, who, let me get his name, Justin Roiland.
Rick.
Yes. But
you can tell it.
But there was an original video that came out. I think it was just yesterday. Well, in podcast time, that's 5 days ago.
Yep.
Well, it's something they did live at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
Recently.
The Adult Swim official channel actually put up a higher res version up.
Oh, nice.
The only worst part about it is all the hardcore swearing was bleeped.
Oh.
But I mean, most of it's still there.
Yeah.
You know, everything from basically propositioning the judge for oral sex. Yeah, it is great. I recommend everyone watch it.
He likes white butt boys. it's some of the language is just like so inventively like vulgar. Like that guy. Just the comedy team of 2016 were that judge and that defendant. Mm-hmm. Like, holy cow.
But
I'm yelling. Like it's just so many quotes. Like
you can't smile in a courtroom.
You can't smile
whenever I please. Oh, that's great. So great.
Check that out, people.
So anyway, anyone who and I don't think it's anyone on this podcast here, but anyone who is in ownership of an Xbox One, one of the current free games with gold is Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate.
Oh, okay. So what is this?
I didn't get into the Warriors games when they were really big on PS2.
Dynasty Warriors games.
Yes.
Oh God,
so
I played those.
Warriors Orochi 3 has been out
Button
for a
pressing
while.
simulator.
Yes, it is. But since I didn't get into them, I didn't kind of get burnt out on them yet.
Yeah.
I only started playing them about a year ago when Hyrule Warriors came out for the Wii U.
Okay, yeah.
Which I highly recommend. I love it. I absolutely love that game.
Man, I was way into Warriors games. I played Dynasty Warriors 4 to death. Adam and I would two-player that on the PS2. Or we play Samurai Warriors as well.
It is so much fun to play those games.
Oh, yeah.
And the Wii U does it really well because it doesn't do it split screen. It does it big screen, gamepad screen.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I don't like that horizontal split screen because myself and the kids were playing it earlier today.
Yeah.
But a couple of things I noticed because so I played this game. I bought this game when it came out about 3 or 4 years ago. It was 4 years ago because it was just before I started at GameStop.
Yeah, 2012 it looks like it came out.
Well, I'm not even talking about this game. I'm talking about a different game. There was a Pokemon spin-off game that came out in the US called Pokemon Conquest.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's basically if you take Pokemon,
okay,
put it in feudal Japan,
okay,
with some of the historical, stuff that dealt with the unification of Japan,
Yes,
but
I think
turn it-
I've seen some of the images of like Pokemon in like feudal Japan costumes.
turn it into Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh wow, really?
It's really good. The main story, I mean, the actual story itself is kind of whatever, but it's ridiculously addictive, and I've got 260 hours in that game.
Oh wow. Adam should play this. He's way into Pokemon and Final Fantasy
Yeah,
Tactics.
he absolutely should, and I'm hoping they'll make a sequel because I absolutely love it. But I only
Too bad
thought,
he's dead from brain amoebas.
He's
but
pour one
I only
out.
thought some of the main warlords in the game, Nobunaga Oda,
Oh, is this just a regular DS game?
a regular DS game, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to buy this.
Yeah, Nobunaga Oda. I know Ieyasu's in there. I know.
Is there
Hideyoshi.
Lubu? Is Lubu in there?
That's China.
Oh,
Lubu's China.
This is the Japanese one.
This is the Japanese one.
Oh
but
man,
a
give
lot
me
of the,
some of that Lubu.
a lot of the key players in the unification stuff is in there.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how many characters in Pokemon Conquest weren't actually just made up for the game. I thought they only took like 3 to 5 people from the actual historical unification.
Yeah.
But I started playing Warriors of Orochi, and one of the first 3 people you have is this, like, he looks like a 16-year-old kid wearing a weird, like, yellow hat hanging off the side, and he's, like, addicted to sleeping.
That sounds like an anime character.
Yeah.
It sounds like that.
Oh, crap. What's his name?
Boy, you're on your own.
Yep, I am on my own on that one. Kanbi is his brother, and he's got the same name except for a different first letter. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's the same character in Pokemon Conquest to the hat and everything. And I'm like,
wow.
I'm playing as this guy. I don't care.
You want the hat guy.
I mean, Warriors of Orochi specifically is kind of a spin-off, so it's meant to be, here's the people from feudal China, here's the people from feudal Japan.
So it's like a mashup?
They've got Sophitia from Soul Calibur in it.
Oh,
They've got
okay.
someone from the Atelier games, which I don't know.
Yeah.
They've got someone from Dead or Alive in it. They've got someone from Ninja Gaiden in it. But Warriors of Orochi is you're actually fighting off a demon army instead of just playing the historical events of, feudal China or feudal Japan.
Okay.
So I know a lot of the feudal China stuff from games like Destiny of an Emperor and Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Yep.
But I didn't realize how much I actually know from feudal Japan because of Pokemon Conquest.
I like how Pokemon Conquest has been some like Japanese history lesson, just a little bit to you. That's cool though. Cool that they can do that.
Now, going back to Pokemon Conquest, everyone should play it. But the fake Japan that's in that world is an island called Rensei. Whatever. It just looks like an Arceus. It's an island in the shape of an Arceus.
What's that?
Arceus is the god Pokemon.
Okay. Still don't know what that looks like.
It looks like a deer.
Okay.
I
don't know what you're talking about now.
With like a portal thing in the middle of its body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Pokemon Conquest. How much is that? Oh man.
$20.
$25.
Nope.
Used copies are $40 on Amazon. I'll have to look somewhere else.
Yeah, that Pokemon stuff is super expensive.
That's a GameStop thing, even though it might have gone up with the
Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Everything went up in price except for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but good luck finding those.
It's insane how much, looking on Amazon right now, the prices have gone up on Pokemon games. Holy crap. $60 for Pokemon Black 2 for the DS? Like, what the fuck?
Is that new in box?
Yeah. Pokemon Platinum is $150 new in box.
Not surprised.
Holy shit. 75 used. I might have a copy of that I might just sell, because I'm, like, do I want to play it again? Probably never. Like, I don't hold any sort of, I'd rather have the $50 I would get for selling it, Holy crap.
Oh, exactly.
Jesus, some of these games. Yeah, I got Pokemon White version 2. I could sell for how much? Used? $50?
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to play that game again. Like, why not?
I've got Original White, I've got Black version 2, I've got Pearl, I've got Soul Silver.
Yeah, I can trade in and earn $30 right now on Amazon. Just, wow. Amazon trade-ins are really easy too. As I am sure GameStop ones are as well. Yeah. Oh man.
So we're talking about Pokemon.
Yeah, we got to end the podcast soon here. So let's end with your Pokemon Sun and Moon new forms.
Okay.
And we'll talk about my breaking fucking news, and we'll end it.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's do Sun and Moon.
So, a couple days ago, well, it would have been on the 1st, so about a week ago, as of when this podcast goes up. So
3
Pokemon
weeks ago.
Well, Pokemon put up a new video about some of the old Pokemon from first gen are coming into Alola, completely different.
Yeah.
And they started off with probably the dumbest looking one, but I'm kind of excited for it. So Executor is the, kind of the stubby looking coconut tree, palm tree thing.
Yes.
He's now got the neck that's longer than like 3 giraffes now.
Uh-huh.
And his secondary type switched to dragon. So he's now a grass dragon type. But that's not even the most drastic change.
Uh-huh.
So if you go back to first gen and we're thinking fire types, you got the fox Pokemon, Vulpix and Ninetales.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They are now Ice Fairy.
Yes. They went from fire to ice.
And they look awesome.
They do look awesome. The Executor thing is fucking insanity though, because it is like a palm. Yeah, it looks so dumb, but it's fun. I like Mimikyu. Mimikyu is my favorite Pokemon ever.
Oh, it's a ghost hiding in a cosplay costume?
Yes. Matt, have you seen this Pokemon?
No.
Mimikyu. It is a Pokemon that so badly wants to be loved that it wears a really ratty but adorable Pikachu costume like over itself, and is trying to get people to hug it because it looks like Pikachu. It's so sad, but so adorable.
With that Pokemon.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Sun and Moon. That's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
I loved X and Y. Looking forward to continuing. God damn it, man.
It's also possible that there might not be gyms in this game.
What? That's how Pokemon works.
Based on that video that they showed, there are on each of the 4 islands of Hawaii, Alola, whatever. It's Hawaii. There is some sort of like special trial you have to complete for these, essentially the elders of each island, and it may be like typical RPG quest fare, but they've not talked anything about gyms at all. So it's possible they may be ditching that for these longer scale, like, quest lines you're doing.
Jesus. Holy shit. My frequently bought together on Amazon right now for Pokemon is a new copy of Pokemon Gold for Game Boy Color, a new copy of Pokemon Blue for Game Boy, and a Pokemon Yellow. Total price, $1,111. They're selling Pokemon Yellow new in box for $400.
You could buy the digital for $10.
I know, it's insanity. You could sell your used copy on Amazon for $75. Fucking nonsense. Pokemon Red version new, $550. This has gone too far. Used games are costing too much. Holy shit. Anyway. Yeah, so if you got, I'm like really tempted to sell some of these used games. I mean, looking at my Game Boy collection alone of Pokemon stuff, I could easily have $200, $300 of stuff. Like, and I could just play them on emulators. Like, I don't care to have the... Like, I do care. Like, I will always cherish my Pokemon Red, copy that I have. And probably my Pokemon Silver that I also have. Because those were some of my favorite games growing up. But, So, like, Pokemon Ruby, sell for $60. Like, I don't give a shit about Ruby anymore. I don't know. Anyway, That is insane. Does anyone have anything else before we get to the breaking fucking news and end this show?
TJ, when you go to Mississippi, if you see David McCready, say hi for me.
Okay.
Breaking news, guys. I saw this on my Facebook feed, and I had to share it because it's fucking breaking news. Blowing the doors off. The Nintendo NX report says games to be released on forthcoming console include Mario, Pokemon, and Zelda games. Like, okay.
Hello, Captain Obvious.
Yeah, oh my god. I saw that and I was like, okay. Wow, Nintendo's gonna make a Nintendo game.
What is it gonna be Mario games on this?
I know. Like, shit, man. I'm sold. You want to use a copy of Leaf Green?
That is one big pile of shit.
It is one big pile of shit, but it is $90.
Oh.
Jesus! Used, very good. Probably doesn't even come with a box. The demon growl gets me every time. All right. We've got to wrap it up, though. The website is borninthe80s.net. You can like, comment, subscribe on Facebook. All the places. Where else can people find us, TJ?
Oh, I mean...
iTunes.
If you want to contact us directly, we're all on Twitter.
Google Play. We're all on Twitter.
Yeah, so the podcast is at 80s Podcast. John is at John_Danger.
Yep.
At Matt Hag Music.
Yep.
At May of
And
May.
you know what? If you're bored or you're stuck at work for like 8 hours, just go on Spotify and find the Matt Hag Music channel and just put it on repeat all day.
Yeah,
You
there's
can
some
mute
good
it.
stuff.
It doesn't matter. Like, just repeat it, mute it. It's fine.
At May of May 84.
Oh yeah, 84. That's right.
That's
Just
TJ.
search May of May. You'll find me.
Yeah.
And if I ever go on it again, I'm also on Twitch. We're all on Twitch.
Yeah, I'm pretty rare.
Yeah. John streams Ghostbusters sometimes.
One time.
One time.
Anyway,
I haven't streamed in 3 months.
Yeah, it's... I don't know. I gotta get a better streaming setup before I do any more. But yeah, so if you have old Game Boy games, sell them on Amazon or go to a GameStop and trade them in if you don't want to deal with that.
Or
Because-
give them to me.
They're worth a fuck ton of money. I cannot believe how much these are worth. You can't even buy Soul Silver on Amazon.
Yeah.
The used copy is worth is $115.
As of Sunday, there was one GameStop within a 100-mile radius that had a copy.
Oh my god, you have to turn that off. It got worse. Are you playing a recorder?
I was improvising with it.
I was about to say. It sounded different. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. We're on Google Play as well. They do podcasts there, so you can find it. I don't even know if they do reviews.
This is obviously a 5-star right here.
Yeah, this episode. Listen, I'm gonna find our podcast on Google. Oh my god! This is how Matt gets me to stop talking.
I mean, at least if we're gonna record a song, we might as well do the Jurassic Park one.
Born in the 80s. They don't have ratings.
Can you believe I've never taken a recorder lesson at all? I'm self-taught.
Do you know what I like about this place? Google Play. No star ratings at all. It's just podcasts.
I left a rating before I joined.
Yeah. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
our listener is on the show now, so who's listening now?
Our one listener, yes. So you can listen to episode 137, Don't Be a Dick to Animals, or episode 138, Laundry Room Tattoos,
Oh, that's a good one.
to hear a story.
Is Don't Be a Dick to Animals the one where Lance let his hamster outside for certain death?
I remember that.
Oh, Lance.
Oh, you don't even know. My girlfriend at the time worked at an animal shelter, and I had her listen to that, and it didn't go over well.
Oh, I know. I'm sure.
Yeah.
You just couldn't handle it.
You know the rage.
Oh no, this is not that episode. But this was an episode about animals being dicks to people. Yeah, this was a John and Adam only, but we have to stop.
Okay, I'm good. Good. G2G.
You're never alone. Sorry. I love that theme song.
I've never heard of this show.
Wow. Never
Is
heard
it just called 227?
No, I think it's called The 227.
Okay.
It
It's
might
like,
just be 227.
like an apartment number or an address or
Yeah.
something? Or an area code.
It is just 227. It is an apartment. Oh, it might be an area code. Let me just make sure I get it right. 227 TV series.
Do you think Adam's dying?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think his body is rejecting all of the drugs that he's put in himself. I'm joking. 227. But
Wait, hold on.
oh,
What is this breaking news? Mario, Pokemon, and Zelda?
no fucking way! They're gonna make a new Mario game?
You mean from Nintendo?
Oh, okay. So 227 was, I think it's the name of the apartment. The fuck is 227?
You really hung up on this whole.
It doesn't say anywhere on here. So this show's on from 85 to 1990. But it had Jack Hay, played by Sandra Clark. But Marla
This
Gibbs.
is gonna be a very sciencey episode.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jack Hay is the name of the actress. Jack Hay.
Okay.
She's Sandra Clark. She's a sassy lady. And Regina King. You know Regina King, right?
Wait, this show was from 85 to 90?
Yeah.
Link for the title theme you sent me made it look like it was from like the 70s.
Nope.
Ugh.
Wait.
The show.
But one of the little girls in the show was Regina King, who you may know as that voice actress. What do all of the voices for everything? She was in the Boondocks. She did the main characters. Did a lot of stuff. She's one of those actresses who's in a lot of stuff. Anyway. That's it. So we should get started. Matt? You ready?
Well, you heard it here, fellas. Ryan is slinging the bling bling to get that paper.